Okay, sir. So we are live. Thank you everyone for watching this Passion Podcast episode. Welcome to Sandeep Bose Motivation Speaker channel once again. As you know, I am Sandeep Bose, motivation speaker and communication trainer. With me today, as I promised yesterday, we have a very special guest, distinguished Toastmaster, Mr. Josh Mundencherry. Sir, welcome to the Passion Podcast. And how are you doing today?
Yeah, thank you very much, Sandeep. Nice to be with you here today. I'm feeling excellent. Thank you very much. I'm excited about this interview.
Thank you, sir. Same here. And it's the weather conditions is not very good where you live. So how's the situation in Kerala?
Yeah, in Kochi now today it's okay. It's quite sunny, but it's not that sunny. But however, I would say we've been having a very bad weather since few days, last week and all. But today it's quite cool, calm, not raining, so it's nice actually. Nice weather.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. All right. So I was going through your journey of the in LinkedIn also, and you have sent me your CV. So I saw, sir, there's a huge impact you have taken. You have did in this sector, like this training sector, and you have born and brought up in Kochi.
Yeah, born and brought up here in the outskirts of Kochi, actually. Outskirts of, not in the city itself. It's about, say, about 20 kilometers from there. Yeah, I'm born and brought up over here. And then my education, my religious school. So I'm not in an English medium school. I never went to play school or kindergarten. I started my class in class one, actually, and class one in my religious school, which is the Malayalam medium school. I started, in fact, learning English in class four only.
Okay.
And then I got migrated to Calgary, or rather Bandel in West Bengal.
That's what I'm going to ask you, sir, because you are in Kochi and then you came to Calcutta. So, if I'm not wrong, you have graduated from Calcutta University, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, I'm from Calgary University through St. David's College, Park
Yeah.
Circus.
How's the experience when you are growing up at that point of time? Because you are from a different part of the country, and suddenly you see different people, different language, different culture. How's the atmosphere back then?
Oh,
Did
it
you
was
enjoy it?
great actually. It's a city of joy, as it is called. It is really a city of joy because everyone, what I felt when I went to the college in the city can be used by anybody. I mean, it's not just the rich people, not just the poor people. Anybody can live in that city. So it doesn't matter what's your, the size of your pocket, but then you can live there happily. So it's a very good place. I enjoyed it, but only the summer was quite, taxing. Very hot it was. I don't know how it is now. And winter
It's
was
very hot.
pretty cold. Yeah, but I enjoyed staying in Calgary.
Right. Sir, you have been to, as I said, you have been to different places from Kochi to Calcutta. Then you went to Middle East in your career also, came back to India
Yeah,
again. So you have seen so many things in your life. So but we shall definitely be talking about your sector, which is training, and definitely what you are famous for. You fondly call yourself a phonetic alchemist. We'll come to
that's right.
that later on the show. But sir, since you are here, you have so much experience of life, we'd like to ask you a few questions which will motivate and inspire so many youths who are watching,
Right,
especially this podcast is watching, mostly the students who are watching this
right.
podcast from all over the country. So,
Okay,
so right now, as you know, that we are going through a very difficult phase, unprecedented times, tough times, never seen before.
yep,
So many people lost their jobs. So many people are working from home. People are very much depressed.
right.
So, do you think that the mental health is important as far as the career and the relationships are concerned? How much important is mental health?
I would say at this juncture, I would say it is very. So when people get desperate, and are unsatisfied because of the life situations, I mean, it affects them more than physically. It affects them more mentally. Now we have very little support, and mental support is very little. I would say very scarce. Now you find the COVID patients are getting some kind of psychological treatments in some states. I don't know how about all over India. In Kerala, for example, there are psychiatrists and psychologists are being employed. But how many of them? Few thousands actually. But but how many people require it? So it's very important that the government looks into that, and provide that psychological support to all those patients, particularly those who have gone through these hard times of COVID, maybe in the hospital, or, maybe the near and dear ones dying in front of them, and all these kinds of things. Pathetic situation. They require some kind of psychological backup. They require some kind of calmness they have to gain in their life. It's very important, actually. That will keep them going.
And definitely, sir, people don't want to talk about it. People are very shy. People are afraid of the society. I've seen people afraid of their parents. They don't want to open up. And so many, you see the newspaper, you see so many cases of suicide, so many cases of mental
Wow.
illness happening. But I think that the time has come that we should open up with each and everybody, and we should discuss and take some help from our
That's
seniors,
right.
isn't it?
Yes. Some kind of consolation has to be given to them, actually, so that they feel, pacified, consoled, feel happy in life. They have to come back to all of us have to come back to our normalcy.
Right, right. So next thing which I would love to highlight here is you have been to prestigious positions of president, vice president of Toastmaster clubs,
Yep.
and also churches. You're heading the church. I saw you in your CV. So there are situations where you have to take tough decisions, right?
Yep.
Decisions which are not liked by others, maybe who are junior to you or maybe senior to you, they don't like it. So how one such should approach while taking tough decisions?
Well,
Could you?
decisions you have to. I mean, when a decision has to be made, it has to please both the teams, whoever the teams are, actually, whoever people are, whoever are involved in it. They have to be informed about the decisions and why such a decision is being taken. It happened to me, actually, when I was working in the church leadership role. There was an instance when I had to say no to a group of people. Actually, I'm there back in the Middle East. It is not just one community. We had lots of communities from different countries. So
Right,
to a community from a different country, I had to say no to them for a program. Then they were
right,
angry with me, but I couldn't do anything about it, because at the last moment I had to take that decision and tell them no to it. Though they protested, but I said no, the program will go without that, whatever you want to do. But I
right.
had to stand there on my feet and tell them, yeah, that's it. We can't do it. Maybe because, whatever be the situation, we understand the situation, and we have to do maybe
Do
a tough
do
time.
Right. Back of your mind, did you have any thought, like when you say somebody no, any tough decision you take, back of your mind, do you have this belief that, oh my God, what they're thinking, they might do something against me or something like that? That thought sometimes bother you? Anyhow?
No, what I feel, I am logically right, ethically right. In all respect, if I am right in making a decision, why not? Yes, you may have, because not everybody, all the fingers are not the same, actually. So you will always have some kind of backlash or some kind of negative response to whatever decision you make. Doesn't matter. But if you are on the right path, make the right decision.
Right, right. Great advice. So next point, I would like to ask you about that. Right now, as I said before, also that we are going through a difficult phase. Uh, I have seen lately that maybe you have also observed that people have become very selfish these days, and there's a saying, famous saying called "What goes around comes around." So, do you think that this is the time where nature is trying to, take its place back, because nobody is bigger than the nature, isn't it?
Yeah,
All the
true,
things we
true.
are doing, so many deaths, even the cyclone and things like that, earthquake is coming back. People are cutting trees, people building real estate business, but nobody's taking care of the mother nature.
Right.
Our existence is at stake. So, what is your take on it, sir?
Yeah, I was, as you are about it, I was recollecting a cartoon, which came out beginning of our COVID situation last year. I could see a street full of animals marching on with people in iron cages. So we were all locked up in our homes. The animals were free on the streets. So
Right.
that is the kind of situation, actually. We have locked ourselves at home. Everybody is
Right.
forced to stay home. Animals are free. Because that is the kind of situation. So even yesterday, I was listening to a video. I'm a guy who's speaking on the video about the kind of injustice meted out to the animals. We kill so many animals. Why don't we go vegetarian? The amount of waste that we have through having eating meat and other things. He was talking about that actually. So we do a lot of harm to the nature, cutting the trees and other things. People are that way. It's not easy to change, difficult to change actually. But we have to give our own little bit, whatever, at least, waste that we see, waste into rivers and other things, or wherever you are walking on the streets, we don't care. We just throw the rubbish onto the streets. Such thing, at least if we restrain ourselves in throwing the waste onto the streets and other things, there are dustbins. Why don't we throw them there? There are in
Absolutely.
every place. I'm sure the municipality or corporation, wherever they are, they always provide some kind of keep it. If it's a small piece of like your chocolate you eat, don't throw it on the floor or on the street. Keep it in your pocket. It's not dirty stuff. And whenever you find a kind of a dustbin or somewhere, you can. Or you step down from a bus. I've seen this everywhere actually. You step down from a bus, immediately you throw that ticket away. Why should we throw that ticket away? Keep it in your pocket until get a dustbin somewhere. One of the things that
Absolutely.
I do during my training, because many of the trainees come by bus. So for one of the things I asked them, I said, all of you take out how did you come today? I came by bus. Okay, take out your tickets and show me, please. So many of them don't have it. Why? So they say, I threw it in the street. Then I tell them, why you should. Why can't you keep that in your pocket until you come to our institute and then throw it in the dustbin somewhere? That's a little act makes a big difference.
Absolutely, sir.
Big difference, yeah.
Simple
That's what
things
I
matter.
believe. Yep.
Absolutely. And you were talking about that animal killing, like as you said, that vegetables, like vegetarian, those who are vegetarian, they live a very healthy life. And
Yep.
in Vedas also, in Gita also, they're saying that if you eat vegetables, then you live longer, because killing animal is a sin. Not only that, when you eat an animal, it goes to your system and it only disturbs your system. It
True.
doesn't give you joy. But when you eat
Yeah.
fruits, when you eat vegetables, your system also thanks you,
Right. Right.
isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
uh,
That's true.
Definitely, we'll come back to it also. uh, so we have already talked about mental health. Physical health is important as well, as you were saying. So over the years, when somebody is working for a company, or doing a business, or doing any field job, it's very important that they should be mentally as well as physically fit, right? So,
Yep.
how do you approach your life? Or you have seen, you have been through a long journey. You have been to a different countries, so you have seen people, you have seen yourself. How you kept yourself fit, mentally as well as physically, and what are the things you followed religiously doing that?
Well, yeah, I had a variety of activities, I would say. One is my job. Of course, I had to give the priority to that. Then my family, I had very little priority, I would say, to, I didn't have enough time, actually. So I had my work, then I had my religious activities there back in the Middle East. Then I had the Toastmasters, because I'm still a passionate Toastmaster. So I learned the Toastmaster. When I got into Toastmastery, I understood the wealth in that. Then I just, grabbed and swallowed everything that I could from the Toastmasters. Then I started building clubs. Why I build clubs? Because it is that's the way that we build ourselves. So I started building club. I formed about 7 clubs over there back in Oman. And then I believe the first why I formed a club is I gained a lot. I gained a
Right.
lot from Toastmastery. Then my
Okay.
thought was, why should I keep it with myself? Why don't I share it with my friends? So my thought was, whomever I know, they should learn the benefit of Toastmasters and better themselves. It was one of the best forums in this universe to hone your skills in leadership and communication. There's no other
Great.
form I would. There's nothing else. And this
Right.
kept me busy. Those masters kept me busy. Religious activities kept me. So little exercise part, body at that time I had a much of time actually, very little time for exercise. But then I used to play badminton and other things. I'll spend little time on that. Otherwise, yeah, I was fully busy actually.
So since you have already, talking about Toastmaster, many of the people don't know about it. So would you like to tell our viewers that what is Toastmaster and how does it work in
All
the
right,
brief?
okay. Yeah, I'm a passionate Toastmaster. I always believe once a Toastmaster, always a Toastmaster. Why? Because that's the kind of benefit that I personally have received. So Toastmasters is an international organization. It is a no-profit organization. It has grown from the United States of America, founded by a person called Dr. Smedley's. He finished graduation, then he started off, with the YMCA. And at YMCA in the States, I forget the name of the state actually, where in the United States, when he started, the youngsters were there, and he realized that youngsters were not able to speak properly. That's how he started this. So what they used to do after dinner, they used to raise a toast, and then speak few words about it. Raise a toast.
Okay.
That's basically, how you raise a toast. And
Right.
then it
Right.
went on. But whenever he got shifted, he got transferred from one YMCA to another, that YMCA lost that charm. But finally, somewhere when he went there, it took off. The neighborhood knew about it. They started, forming clubs. Then it went out of America and flourished like anything. We got about 14,000 clubs all over world, about 3.5 or 4 million people, the members in that club. In Calgary, there are lots of clubs, I know. In India, almost all the cities have clubs. Bangalore has got the largest number of clubs in India. Kochi, we got very few. We got about maybe less than 50 clubs in Kochi because we started maybe about 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago. But
Right.
Toastmasters has got three main programs. One is prepared speeches. So you have manuals, we have manuals for all these. So the manual gives you objectives for each and every speech that you go through the manual, find out what are the objectives. As per the objectives, you got to prepare a speech. Now, I
Okay.
always think that I'm the best speaker, but that's not the truth. Yeah, the truth is that there is always a room for improvement. But I
Absolutely.
cannot assess for myself where is the room. So there is always an evaluator assigned for my speech. Evaluate my speech, not me, my speech as per the
Right.
objective. Does that evaluation and tells me a sandwich method of evaluation. Now, what is the sandwich method of evaluation? If you back to your childhood, how were your parents telling you? What good are you? Yeah, you're good for nothing. Look at your no that boy there, neighborhood boy. Look at him, how well he's doing it. How many marks you get in your maths? Even if you bring 99 out of 100, your parents might say, "Where's that one boy? Where's that one guy?" They don't appreciate you for the 99. That's
Right.
normally the case. Yeah. So here we say every individual is different. The capabilities, the talents that each individual has is different. So first thing we have to say, like a sandwich, you have a top bread. Yeah, top piece of bread. Then we have the cream, and then the other piece of bread. So the top piece of
Right.
bread says, we say, you have done well in this areas. I like that way. I like this way that you said, oh, you performed that super. I liked it very much. Then I go into the cream, the areas for improvement. Then I tell you, what are the areas that I feel you could improve? I feel, is my point of view actually. What are the
Right.
areas that you can improve? If you are saying this way, that would have been better, or you are performing this way, that would have been better. So I give you two, 3 points about how you can improve in particular areas. Then the final piece of bread says, hey, if you do all these things, I'm sure you'll better next speech. See, you are getting a motivational evaluation, not a discouraging one, but an encouraging one. Then the third aspect is we got something called table topics. That is, you are given a topic to speak about and given 30 seconds to think, and then you speak about the topic for about 2 minutes. 2 minutes, not more. Initially, it is a huge task. Like you go there, sweat and all this. I have done it actually. I have sweated it out, right at the beginning, actually. But then later, it becomes a practice for you to speak in front of anyone. I think it flows. These are the three major ones, three major pillars of Toastmasters. Then, of course, if you go to a Toastmasters meeting, there is no negativity. There is positive vibe there. Everybody is trying to help each other too. That we have a very friendly environment, supportive environment. That you can run into any Toastmasters club and say, I'm a Toastmaster, can I join your club? Oh, yeah, you're most welcome. All over the world. So you have a community. And each of the speeches that you listen to will be positive, it will be building, encouraging, never positive, never anything negative. So because everybody will be, as per, they will be presenting their projects as per the objectives. And they read books or, do something or other, gather information, bring and present something very interesting for them. So every day you're learning. That's
Right.
Toastmasters.
So it's like a great atmosphere when you find bunch of people who are you are trying to improve their skills and your skills as well. So we
That's
can
right.
call it. Is it a kind of a CEFR, like amateur, beginner, then intermediate? That kind of
Yeah, we have.
atmosphere will be there.
Yes, I would say as you begin, we say before we used to call them, just Toastmasters. When you complete about 10 speeches, we call them CTM, the competent Toastmasters. We have different titles like competent communicators and advanced Toastmasters. Then we have something called the top of the thing is called DTM, distinguished Toastmasters. That takes around 60 speeches that you need to make for the crowd to get
Right.
achieve that. And there are a number of projects also, leadership projects are there. So this is a combination, it's a parallel trip that you make. One is, speaking skills. The other one is leadership skills. So when you complete these two parallelly, you reach the highest, the epitome. That's all. Yeah,
Right.
distinguished masters. That's everybody wants to get that. Actually, it's a title that everybody wants to uh, adorn
Once again.
themselves.
So,
And
sir,
I would say
yourself.
this is a Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters badge
Oh,
that we get,
medal.
something like this. Yeah,
I was about to ask you this question that you have yourself received this prestigious award in 2002. So
yeah, that's right.
yeah, so but do you think that what is the role of discipline in getting this achievement?
See, we have to go through, different levels. Let me ask you, what is the easiest subject that you can talk about? If I ask
Any
you to
top,
speak about, what is the
right.
easiest subject for you to speak about?
If you ask me, I'll talk about food.
Food, okay. But then food, you still have to, think about this topic and then bring some ideas and other things. But the easiest one will be to talk about yourself. You don't have to do any research on that. It's you. I mean, I know everything about myself. So I speak about that's the first project that we speak about. So I speak about myself first, then I speak about a topic which is very dear to me. As you said, maybe food or anything else. And then progressively you work on your vocal variety, you work on the body language, you work on your voice, you work on your the words that you use. Then you go in for persuasive speeches. Then you go in for inspiring speeches. So that way you build up, you build up slowly, step by step. By the time you reach about 10 projects, you become an excellent speaker. Then you have a lot of
Right.
specialization. You can have going for specialization actually, and then you reach. So by the time you reach about say if you want to get about DDM, you could make around 60 speeches, 50, 60
Right.
speeches, and only you reach. So that means you become a good speaker, excellent speaker, not good speaker, excellent speaker. Face any crowd.
Right, right. Very well summed up, sir. So, now the one aspect I would look to highlight here is pressure and challenges. So,
Yeah.
how you deal with pressure and challenges, or how you dealt with pressure and challenges throughout your life?
Well,
How? What
when I
is
was
your
young,
approach?
I would say when I was younger, pressure, it was pressure. Yeah, I had pressure while working and other things, working anywhere, either in the leadership or in the office. Yeah, I used to, but nowadays I don't experience any pressure because I have gone through that pressure. Then I feel, oh, this is a part of the work, part of life actually. So, what is the pressure actually? Unless I mentally feel it is a pressure, I don't feel any pressure. Even now, I do lots of activities like, I used to go to 4 institutes before the corona. And once the corona said, through 2 institutes that they are not doing anymore because students are in there. So physically, I wasn't going there. Other 2 institutes, one is very hard, very, very close to my heart. So I go there. I do even work at institutes. And then the other one is the Chartered Accountant Institute. So there I do online classes. When I used to go for 4 institutes, and beside that, training teachers and professionals and other things. So a lot of work, but then I never used to feel the pressure. Why? Because that is part of the life. If you organize everything, whatever you need to do in a day on a day-to-day basis, you see the week ahead, the activity that you need to do, plan yourself, then I don't think you need to take any pressure. So plan your work and work your plan. And that is what we should do actually. But if you fail to plan, fail to do the work there.
Right. I think there's a power cut issue, and we are not able to get in touch with Mr. Josh. Hopefully, it will be back soon. Till the time, please stay tuned with all of us. Yes, so we have lost the connection with Mr. Josh Mundencherry. He was talking about something related to pressure and challenges, but unfortunately, there's a power cut in his house where he is living. He's from Kerala, and as you all know, that the cyclone Taukode is going on there. So maybe we have lost the connection with Mr. Mundencherry, but hopefully he will be back soon. So let's wait for at least for 2 3 minutes more till the time he comes back. Yeah. So
Can you see me? Yeah. All right. Okay. Sorry about it. It's a power
yeah,
failure.
it's fine. I was just telling our viewers that there's a power cut in your house, and since you are living in the western part of, maybe because of the cyclone or something like that,
Yeah,
we never know.
that's right.
Yeah. So you were talking about pressure and challenges, and you have said a very right way how we should approach pressure and challenges. We should take it as a part of our life. When we take
Yeah,
it as a part of our life, we should not feel overloaded or overboarded, right?
that's right. Yeah. Plan it up. If you
Okay.
fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's it.
Right, right. So, as you said that failed plan, I just remember about Thomas Alva Edison, how he invented bulb. Like thousand
Yeah,
times he tried and failed.
yeah,
So when somebody asked him that you failed thousand times, so he said that I have invented thousand ways
that's
not to
true.
do it, how to make the bulb.
How positively is taken all those failures.
Absolutely, that's what great leaders can think about it, and people call them crazy, but when they
Yeah,
do it, they become legends. Right.
that's right.
So, sir, next aspect I'd like to highlight is negative criticism. So, how one should approach to negative criticism, because we are living in a society, and especially, I'm not talking about our country, but some states, maybe the states I come from, I see here a lot of negative criticism. People are trying to pull down people, which is very bad and unfortunate. How those the students who are watching, or the viewers, those who are watching, who are aspiring trainers, or maybe do want to do something, how they should approach towards negative criticism.
Now, what is negative criticism? It's all in the minds of people, actually. Huh? Now, are you convinced it's a negative criticism? If you're convinced, yeah, because you know that you have done something wrong. If you have done something really right, I mean, ethically, all in all senses, if you've done something wrong, negative criticism is for them, not for you. Now, even if they do criticize you negatively, you look into it. Don't react. It's very easy to react, but be proactive and then find out why did they say that. Look into that negativity and see if there is any positivity there. Take that positivity out of that and try to build yourself, rebuild yourself, or reform yourself, transform yourself out of the negativity. But there is always something positive in the negativity, never full of negativity. Even when he says that, there's something, maybe something that is there that you can build upon and take that in a very positive sense, positive way. You can transform yourself and to kill that negativity so that you can progress much better. That's what I would
Okay.
say to
You're saying that transform those negative energies into positive energies, right?
positive energies. That's right.
Right, right, right. Okay, so we have already discussed about this, and how do you see India as a superpower? Maybe next 10 years. What are the things where you see there's a as prospect from India? We are still after 70 years of independence. We are still a third world country, but we should not blame the government, or we should not blame the people, because the population is the second largest after China. So it will take time. So how you see India in next 10 years?
See, if you look at India last 20 years, 15 plus 20 years, I would say, India has been transformed in a tremendously, actually, in all respects, in terms of the living status, food that we eat, educational system. There is a lot of, change. But, if you say about 10 years time, the superpower, yeah, I'm not a person to say about it, but looking into it, we have the potential. We have the talents. We have the people. We look into the past, we see the amount of brain drain that we had past. Now, can we
Hmm.
bring them back here? If we bring them
No.
back here, I'm sure we can. If we set the goal, if the leaders of our country set the goal to be a superpower within 10 years or less, we can achieve it provided we all work towards it. But when the leaders come there, they have their own agendas, personal or otherwise. So that's where we deviate from our focus. If that be the focus, yeah, we can manage it. Why not? We have the potential, we have the talents, we have the youngsters coming up with. Look at our IT industry, for example. One of the best in the world, isn't it? So why
Absolutely.
not? We can become the superpower if we all together, including the leaders, but they should not deviate from that focus. Then we can achieve it. It's not far away.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. So you are yourself in Middle East. You have seen how Middle East transformed, like Dubai. Say, for example, 10 years back, 15 years back, Dubai were nowhere near. It's all
Yeah.
deserts and all. And today, Dubai is totally changed. People
Yeah.
wants to come to Dubai. They want to invest, real estate, be it tourism, everything. And their leader is a visionary. Their prime minister, the king, is a visionary. And 2020, there's an expo in Dubai, which is going to be one of the largest in the world. And they have advanced a lot. So definitely, I think, as you said, that with the right approach, our leaders and the young generation can definitely, come and support each other, and we can develop our country
Yeah,
sooner than later.
certainly. Because in
Right.
Dubai, I've been to Dubai. I used to go to Dubai almost every 3 months or so. Initially, about I don't know how many years, or maybe about years ago when I used to go, I could easily find my places there. After a certain time, when Dubai took off into developing itself, I went there. Literally, I tell you, one day, the first time I went there, I found so many old bridges, underpasses and other things. So I had difficulty in finding in the place. So I used to stay in the Novotel. That time when I went there, I had to literally engage a taxi to drive before me, in front of me, to show me the place. It was so complicated. So
Right.
that's a transformation actually. But there, if you have a vision, they execute it. That's a problem. I mean, that's the advantage actually. But here we have a vision, but we don't execute it. That's a problem.
Right.
And
Right.
there they have a vision, they have a goal. Yeah, no matter what happens, they do it. So if we do it, cheap.
Great. Great. Great advice, sir. So, next thing, which is very important, because so many people are afraid because of the situation. But what is the role of fear in your life?
Yeah. Fear is again, it's in the mind. What do you fear? Is why do you fear? Now people say public speaking is very fearful. And as
Right.
per one of the surveys, it says that's more deadly than a death. People are so scared to speak. But what is there? What did happen? I ask. Well, always during the training and all the. I always ask the students or the trainees, why do you fear? Because when even on the screen, online training down these days. Well, on Monday I had one full day training. Then few of them came and they were all, tensed and their words were not coming out. I said, well, what happened? I said, I'm tensed. Why? Because I'm speaking in front of people. But you're sitting at home and speaking. You don't see them physically, but you're, sitting at home and you are on the screen. So yeah, but I see people. So what? So we have a fear that people are going to criticize me. They are going to speak ill of me. They are going to laugh at me. So all these kind of negative feelings will come into me. So that is the fear. How to get rid of it? Public speaking, for example, I always tell them, you don't concentrate. You should have little fear. It's like a caution, saying that, hey, mind you, you're going to speak in front of people. Be good. Speak well. Be exemplary. Sir. Yeah, excellent speaking. You do an excellent job over there. Not the other way around. Oh, people laugh at me. What will happen? All the negativities we should never, harp on them. Never focus on them, but focus on what you're going to speak to them. What are the different points that you should be telling them? Then your fear will fly away. That's what we should do. Fear is there, it's in the mind.
State of the mind.
It's in the mind.
Right. Sir, I would like to ask you one more important question before we move on to the main part, which is the communication and the soft skill part. But what is the most challenging situation you have ever faced in your life, and how did you overcome it? Most
Well, there was
challenging.
a setback. Yeah, I had a setback actually, my career. But I didn't give up actually. I came back and then I started my studies. I continued my studies. So I went in for MA psychology, few graduate diplomas, and I went in, joined MA in English. And that's the time I realized, my pronunciation. IPA is International Phonetic Alchemist. I learned about that. Then I realized this is the one that I need to learn best so that I can improve my English pronunciation. And then thinking about it, I started learning, but then I found it pretty hard, actually, I would say. Because the BA student, they take about 2 years to learn IPA. I was thinking about it every day before I go to bed. I always spend about 10 to 15 or sometimes half an hour in meditation. So one day I was thinking about it. I got an idea to link IPA with our mother tongue, my mother tongue first. And I then took it to next day morning. I got up and then did all those kinds of things, how I should link it all. I did my exercise and then took it to my trainees in the classroom. They liked it. They picked up fast. Then I took to the teachers. Well, they also liked it. In one school, they called me back, 3 years, for 3 years consecutively, just trained them. Then I said, why not link to the other, languages? Then I started linking it to Hindi, Bengali, and all these. Now I train people, Indians from all over India, I, not only in India, but also the Gulf countries because of this. So whenever you have a difficulty, there is always a brighter side of it. There is always, light at the end of the tunnel, as you say. So you can always find something better, maybe. That may be the reason you're getting the difficulty actually. So I had a setback, but I didn't stay back. I continued. I pushed myself to do better things. And then now I am actually, all over India, I think quite popular with this pronunciation class because I give them a 20-hour training and they transform their English pronunciation from the Indian English to more like British English. I would say perfectly British English. Where I don't claim that I have a British pronunciation, but a bit better pronunciation. Yeah, that's it because British pronunciation, those people who live in Britain, they can have native speakers. Unless I go and stay there for about a year or 2 or 3, yeah, I can transform their way of speaking. That's difficult for us, but at least have a better pronunciation. Maybe better, I would say about 50 to 60% as close to the British pronunciation.
Right. So we have already discussed about so many things, but the most important aspects are the communication part, the communication skills. So many people I see, they come for interviews, they get rejected. They think that they cannot make it, they cannot do it. Maybe because of the lack of knowledge, maybe because of the lack of mentorship. Because we all need a mentor at some point of in our life. Without that, I don't think that we can, focus our goal. So, do you think that it is important to have a coach, a mentor, a guide, a trainer who can, guide? Because nowadays people think that everything is available on YouTube. Go to YouTube, just Google it, and you have it. But that's not something which makes great speakers, isn't it?
Very true, very true. Communication is very important. See, I may be an expert in whatever subject I'm in. Take anything, maybe a scientist, the highest, the best scientist, I would say. Whatever field we are in, I may be the best. But if I cannot communicate the ideas to the other person and bring it to actualization, some kind of fruition, then all my knowledge is useless. I found this, the engineers are, when I was in the Gulf, our engineering community, especially I would say from Kerala, I would say I know many of them. Their communication skill is very English language and the way they communicate. And because of that, many of them rise about certain things. Why? Because their communication skill is quite. I formed a club for them, Toastmasters club. So many of them came and joined the communication. Communication, even here, back in when I came back here, I used to go to almost all the engineering colleges. Not only I, there is a group of traders. So we used to go there from first year engineering students. We used to give them induction. Why do you join? Why do you join engineering? What are your goals? So we help them to set that goal right at the outset. First year, as soon as they join the second year, we go with the life skills. And the third year, towards the end of third year or beginning of fourth year, we give them training on interview skills, how to attend an interview, discussion, brainstorm, all these kinds of skills, which they never had before. So these things, these different types of training help these students, engineering students, to come up well in life, particularly at the time of. So interview, not only for interview, for anything, even after you get a job, you want to communicate with your boss, with your colleagues, with your subordinates, or with people outside. You require clarity of communication. Only when your ideas are transferred to your listener, the listener can understand and take an action. For example, you speak, say, do you sleep in the night? Sandeep, do you sleep in the night?
Yes, I do.
You sleep in the night,
I sleep
or
at night.
you sleep in the night.
Okay.
You don't sleep in the night, you sleep. Sleep means
In
you
the
slip and fall, isn't it?
Okay, okay, all right.
That is slip. And
Right, right.
sleep is what you do in the night. Or the other,
Right.
say for example, my wife is, is a farmer's daughter. She's got a, herd of sheep, and then she's got fish farming. She's got chicken, duck, a dog. All these things she looks after actually. So if I tell you that she's got a herd of sheep in my house, what do you think? She's got a
Ship.
herd of sheep. Yeah, she's got a sheep, but she's got
Okay.
sheep, not sheep. So how you pronounce these words make a lot of difference to the people actually. Those who
Right.
hear, they should understand what you're saying, but only if you pronounce it correctly. Yeah, I have done about 50 plus, almost 55 webinars on this pronunciation as a free webinar, which I do always, which I can do for you also for your people actually. So when I do, I always ask a question. Is English pronounce or is English pronunciation? Got it? One of the students in one of the colleges said, "Sir, doesn't matter what language one speaks, what matters is pronunciation." So whatever language you, it doesn't matter what language you speak, but if you pronounce any word incorrectly, your listener will not understand what you're saying. And so it is with English pronunciation. You have to pronounce every word correctly so that your listener understands it correctly and takes the appropriate action. So communication is very important. You have to know how do you do it? Well, of course, there are techniques. You require guidance. Looking at YouTube, you get a lot of information, but how to use that information is the guide that is going to tell you. There is information. Information is everywhere, but how to use them, that's very important. That's why
So
you
you
require a
talked about,
trainer.
sorry
Yeah,
to interrupt you. You
no
talked
problem.
about accent, you talked about pronunciation. I was working with BT, British Telecom. So I just would like to share that when I was working with BT for 1 week, I could not able to understand what they're speaking because people are from Wales, Scotland, England, and Ireland. So they have different accent in different countries. So it took me 1 week to understand what they're speaking. And now I have to do my work. How I do it? I just picked up one word which they said and just I typed it on the computer and I have to troubleshoot with it. So even today, when I speak with foreign people, I have friends all over all over the world actually. So when I speak with them, sometimes they have difficulties understanding my pronunciation. So this interesting, creativity which you have discovered, sir, IPA. I think definitely if I get some time, I would like to take some training from you. Also, I would encourage people who are wants to improve their pronunciation, how they
Yeah.
can how they can contact you,
All
or
right.
how the training is all about, and how much cost does it if somebody wants
Right.
to improve their pronunciation from you.
Yeah. This IPA is a International Phonetic Association. Who is behind this? It is an international standardization. I would say standardization of English pronunciation internationally. Why? Because we have the pronunciation different, as you said, in different countries. So how do you? What is the base? What is the kind of standardization? Standardization before it used to be called BBC English. Now it's no more BBC English. Why? You find all kind of nationalities there, the different kind of a little touch to their different touch to the English pronunciation. Queen's English. It's also called RP English. That's Received Pronunciation English. Oxford English. So if these are the different names. So IPA, it's called little signages. If you look into a dictionary, you'll find different types of signages. besides IPA also. So we take it IPA. I base my training on IPA, and then I connect that with our Indian languages. So in my class, for example, there's a group of people from Bengal, from Haryana, different parts of India, Mumbai, Bangalore. All these people together can sit and understand my class. Why? I help them to connect through their mother tongue. Yeah, so the way the IPA is taught in the normal college is different. Than this is my own invention. I didn't go and borrow it from somewhere. As I said, through the meditation, I got this idea. I linked it, and I teach IPA as we teach our mother tongue. E. So it's easy for the people to connect through their mother tongue to IPA and learn those IPA signages. And then my classes are, I am going to start my 14th batch this Thursday, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow I'll be starting my 14th batch. So this takes about 20 hours. I can give you, voice recordings of people, my trainees, completed about 6 to 7 hours of training, and they start transforming their voice, transforming the way that they speak English words, English language. A total transformation. You will be surprised. I sent one, a recording, one person to his friend, and she couldn't understand who it was. They're not in fact, she only connected me to him. That close they were in Bahrain, actually. And he couldn't understand. I mean, she couldn't understand whose voice it is. And I told him, really? Oh, she was so surprised because the transformation is so great, so tremendous. So as you can see from my YouTube connection, I think you might have watched it.
Yes,
Many
yes.
of them have transformed their pronunciation. So within 20 hours, I guarantee a pronunciation change in my trainings. I was fortunate to train some of these officers also. Very fortunate. So communication is very important, and as I said, pronunciation is very important. No, it doesn't matter which language you speak, but pronunciation is very important so that no listener can understand message.
So we are almost at the end of the show, but before you go, I would not resist asking you two more questions, which is the importance of soft skill. The importance of soft skill, and people think that soft skill will help them in job, but it's not like that. If they have a business, if they want to do something else also, how important is soft skill in 21st century to
Yeah, it's
people?
very important. Very important. There's a saying, it says, IQ gets you a job, EQ gets you promotion. Very true. Emotional intelligence. I mean, it's said emotional intelligence. We hear the word, the term, uh, what's his name? Daniel Goldman. Yeah. Emotional intelligence is the most important one, actually. How I behave. It is not something which is outside me, actually. IQ, I can train myself to get, okay, I can have a better IQ, maybe through training and other. But better than that, what you require is EQ, which is not that easily trainable. Because I have to change my behavior. You can tell me these are the things that I feel you have to change. Yeah. But then I have to decide whether I want to change or not. And if I decide to change, it comes only by practice. Comes by practice, practice, practice. If you every day, if you, for example, I feel like uh, blowing blowing off my mind, actually, or you or anybody, in front of me. Yeah, it can be done easily. But then how to control that? Self-awareness, self-control. How to attain that? That is not easy. Whatever little fault that I find with somebody in front of me, I make a big noise about it. But then how to control myself and then reduce that noise little by little, by little by little. At the end, I can manage, but then it takes a long time. But then you have to be aware about it. You have to control. You have to keep a ledger or kind of track ledger of your activities, and then find out how you are decreasing that fact, your anger. Then you say you become cool. Of course, it also comes with the age. But at a younger age, it'll be much better if you can control that self, if you have the self-control, then you have a faster rise in your career. So these is done by through the soft skills. And through soft skill, something like in life skills, a lot of things that we learn. All the things, how to go about in your life. That's basically life skills, leadership, communication, and all these kinds of things. So if there is, it's very important that we learn it, practice it, we become better human beings. You can have a better career.
Do you think that a soft skill can be learned from YouTube, or do you think that there should be
Uh,
some kind of coaching, some kind of mentorship people should go to?
I say, as I said before, have all the information on the internet. Anything you want, you get it there. But then you need some kind of guidance for you to understand what it is, how to do that, how to go through all those processes of a life skill, for example. If I go through that kind of training, there'll be games, there'll be activities, role plays, and all these kinds of things. When you go through that, you experience it. What we call the experiential training, which we do, which we used to do for the college students. So when we experience all these activities and then come out with a result of it, I don't forget it. But giving a theory, looking at it, watching a YouTube, oh yeah, okay, all the information, yeah, I got it. All right, where is it? After a few hours, it's all vanished. But if you have an experiential training, going through all these activities and role plays and all things, it remains for a long time. I know some of my students who say they still remember me. So when they see me on the road or somewhere, on the mall or something, they come forward and say, I don't remember them, but they do. Why? Because of that particular training that I gave them. I had a number of opportunities where I met people, youngsters, and they came forward and said, particularly the chartered accountants, where I used to do regular training. Not only chartered accountants, even others, whenever I had the training, whenever I meet these people, I can say, thank you very much, sir. That I don't remember, but you know, they come and say because of the training, I still remember. That's a great feeling that I have. So training is important. Actually, it's not that you get it all. You get the information through the experience of being trained. Then that training will remain as an asset for a person transfer.
So I just remember one phase that in India, after parents, the most important people in our lives is our teachers.
True, very
Guru
true.
Dev, we call it gurus. So
Yes.
yeah. So, sir, we are almost end. We are going to end this show, but on a very positive note, I think the viewers have been very much, what to say. They are very much enlightened because of your presence and your positivity, your enthusiasm. They are inspired. I am inspired, motivated very
Thank you.
much. So, sir, one more question, because this is my personal question. This is not this question of the students or anybody. Do you always have this feeling that you want to be a speaker? You want to go into the public and speak? How you
Yeah.
develop this? Yeah.
Yeah, I think the base is Toastmasters. Before that, I used to be a leader, actually, the church and various other activities. I used to go take the leadership activities. I mean, take the initiative, actually. When I see something, I always take the initiative. That's how you become, slowly you yourself to it. Then, of course, a leader. What is a leader? Leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. That's what John Maxwell says. He's a leadership guru from America. So through that, how do you get that influence? Through your communication. How do you communicate? Not only words, your vocal variety, and your body language. There are three things there. And the words that you speak are, they have about 7% impact. Is a research that says only 7% impact. The vocal variety that you have, it's got 38% impact. So it's not what you say, how you say it. Isn't it? If you are in love, you'll not say, I love you. No, don't say that. You go there and say, I love you. How softly and other things, depending on the circumstances and other things, you say it. So how you say it, with love you say it. Then the body language. Whatever actions I show to you with my hands and my face and all these things add impact to my words. It gives life to the words. That's about 55% actually. So you're talking about 100 minutes. Words are nothing. So what you require more is your voice, your vocal variety, and so that's what you need to build your communication skills. Now, why I like because I have lots of opportunities for training, teaching. I do that actually, and I love to be in front of the people to speak any crowd. I always love to do that, and that's
Right.
like
Right.
passion for
Right. That's why I say we imagined you. The name of the show is Passion Podcast, and
me.
you
All
have
right,
found your passion. It's very important to finding passion because without passion, our life is lightless. And
that's right.
I think books plays an important role. Even while speaking with you, I'm holding so many books with me, which I'm reading every day. Do you read books and do you enjoy reading books? And do you think that reading books helps people influence while they speak?
Oh yeah, yeah. I read a lot of books. I have a good collection of serious reading actually.
So can you
Yesterday I was
suggest us some of the viewers any books which help them to
oh,
become a better speaker?
speaker communication wise. I would be the right person influence people. By what's his name? I forget. How to win friends and influence people. Uh,
Okay.
I forget his name. Very
Dale,
famous
Dale
guy actually.
Carnegie? Dale Carnegie?
Dale Carnegie. Dale Carnegie. Carnegie. Then you have a book like Shiv Kera. You think you
Right.
can? If you think you can, you can. Shiv Kera is an excellent book. Yesterday I was telling you, recommending that book to somebody to read. There's so many books, so many books. One that I'm reading at the moment is Sinek's book today. I haven't read it for the last few days because when I get my week, I get a week magazine. Every week we have a week published by Malayalam and Urma. Title itself is Week. When I get it on either on Tuesday or Wednesday, I haven't got it this week. Within 1 day or 1.5 days time, I finish reading that. That's my priority. But I get a variety of news around the country. It's a wonderful magazine. And then, of course, what I do is, the words, the meaning of which I do not know, I always so I improve my vocabulary. That'd be a good practice for it. Even in the book, when I read, if I find something that is which is out of my collection of vocabulary, I add to my vocabulary. I increase my vocabulary. So I can go back, anytime. I have an Excel sheet. Go back again. But sometimes, words which I have come across and I don't know how to pronounce it. So what I do, I, note it down, put it in my computer, get that pronunciation in the script, the transcription, then I know how to pronounce it. Like a word, for example, which a long time ago came across, we normally say, many people say plethora, but actually it should be pronounced as not plethora, it should be plethora. So many words of that nature. Yesterday I was attending a FTP, faculty training, because Chartered Accountants faculty training program. But today I have it from 5:30 on. One of the person, many of those extempore speeches, lots of different ways of pronouncing that word. And someone said it's extempore, some says extempore. But the actual pronunciation is, there are two ways of pronouncing it. One is extempore, extempore, or extempore. It's not temporary, temporary, temporary. So how people why? Because they do not go and refer to the pronunciation dictionary. You heard it somewhere, you so try to imitate rather than you check and then get the right pronunciation. So communication is very important, and we pronounce the words correctly, convey the right meaning to the.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. We are almost ending the show, and it's a great honor, privilege for me to have you on this Passion podcast. And so many people watching us live on Facebook, and this will be going to YouTube as well. So close to thousands of people will watch this podcast, and hope they will be benefited by it. And I'll request everyone, if you have any questions, you can come up with your question on the comment section so that Mr. Joje, sir, can see it. And it's very difficult to pronounce your surname. Pardon me. So,
No problem.
so, so sir can
Thank
see
you very
that.
much.
Sir, whenever sir is free, sir will be able to answer your questions, and you can definitely get in touch with Mr. I mean, Mundencherry. So, sir, once again, thank you. Power cut is there, I think. I think we lost a connection. We are about to end our session with Jose sir, but just waiting for a few more, minutes to so that he comes back, and we finish this podcast. Just waiting for him to be back. Just waiting.
Back with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the power resumed, so my generator automatically got cut off, and then the power restored. Yeah.
Right. So we are. So I was just telling the viewers that if you have any queries, you can reach to Sir. Sir has a YouTube channel. Also, I will give you the link on my channel. So you have a channel, and also I'll if needed, I can give you contact numbers. Also, those want to reach to you for
Yep.
improving their pronunciation skills. So anything you would like to say before we finish this podcast? And before you do that, I would like to say something to the Bengali community who have been to Kolkata for so long. So they would like to hear you something speak in
Oh,
Bengali if you can remember anything.
yeah, নমস্কার সবাই নমস্কার খুব ভালো আছি আমি আপনারা সবাই ভালো আছো তো
Great,
অনেক
great,
কিছু ভুলে গেছি লিখতে জানি না এখন 79-তে চলে এলাম পশ্চিমবঙ্গ থেকে সেই জন্য লিখতে পড়তে আমার এখন আসছে না এখানে অনেক বাঙালিরা আছে সেই জন্য আসাম থেকে আছে কলকাতা থেকে আছে সেই জন্য বাংলা বলতে পারি আমি একটু একটু প্র্যাকটিস করতে পারি কলকাতা আমি এখন যখন গালফে ছিলাম ওখানে বাঙালি ছিল অনেক তো সেই জন্য আমি বাংলা বলতে পারতাম এখানে এখন বাংলা বলতে পারি
great, sir, great. So you have said it absolutely perfectly. Nobody can understand that
হ্যাঁ
you are not a Bengali person.
তাই
It's
নাকি
so good. So
থ্যাংক
before
ইউ
you finish, any message, last message you want to tell
Yeah,
to the viewers, anything in these tough times, difficult times, how they should approach life? What what do you
thank
want
you.
to tell them?
I should first thank Sandeep. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and thank you
Mhm.
to be connected with. You're connecting me with so many people actually, and not only your group of people, but all the people around whoever watches this are get connected. I really appreciate your time, your effort in that, and your enthusiasm. Actually, once you met me on the LinkedIn, immediately started connecting with me, and you wanted to have this immediately. Though I tell you, Monday this week has been very hectic for me. Monday full day, I went to sleep around 1 o'clock. Yesterday also, I went to sleep around because I had full day training, then few classes. Yesterday, I had a full day training. I had class at 5:30. Then I had another class at 9 o'clock. In between, I had my FTP. So it was hectic, actually. But then I said, let me, I don't know, somehow I got influenced by your enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is contagious, actually. So I said I shouldn't, put this guy down actually, rather, give him, support him actually with whatever I can. So I said, what I can do is give you the opportunity to be viewed. So I said, why not? The first opportunity today. Today evening, yeah, I have other programs actually. So I said this morning, tomorrow I have full day. So I said, let me take the first opportunity to clarify this particular chance that you are giving. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. As a last thought, what I would say in this time, keep safe, as per the government, stay at home. Why should I move around? Because I find lots of youngsters, particularly youngsters, just getting out of the home for reason whatsoever. I went out yesterday just to buy milk, bread, and little few things here, and other things. Otherwise, that to nearby shop. I didn't go far away actually. So try to do things that are within our limitations. Whatever we can do a little bit to survive for the few days to come, so that we don't uh, explore out to get that contagious disease for ourselves and bring misery not only for ourselves but our family, our friends, and everyone. It is not something that we enjoy seeing people dying, actually. So we like everybody to be safe. Stay home, stay safe, enjoy your time reading, listening to. Yeah, this is one very important what you can do. Download stuff. See, my mobile has got 12 GB of stuff, audiobooks, YouTube, TEDx speeches. So all these, whenever I have little time, I listen to it. When I travel, I listen to it. If I go to a doctor, I listen to it. Wherever I have to wait, I keep listening. So what happens? John Maxwell, for example, I love him actually. Yeah. Similarly, our David Cameron, the ex-prime minister of the UK. So I like his speeches because he speaks with very clarity, a lot of clarity there. Nice pronunciation, a nice accent. So I like those speeches. So I keep listening. So I get the subject matter they speak on. I get the right, the pronunciation, the accent, and I get the way that they speak, the style of the intonation. So a lot of stuff that you can learn from there. So if I do that, so instead of going out and wasting your health, sit at home, listen to these. Even if you don't download, at least sit and then connect yourself to the internet. You have ample subject that you can learn. Listen to it and enrich yourself. Grow wealthy, not in wealthy in the sense money wise, but knowledge wise. All the best.
Great. Great, sir. Great, and very much inspired by your thoughts in your life. You have a fulfilling life. I would like to just tell you that people have a conception that if somebody is good at it, that means they don't have a personal life. So I just would like to tell the viewers that you're a proud parent of three children, two daughters, one
Yeah.
son. Also, you're a proud grandparent of how many? Three, four grandchildren?
Five children, five grandchildren.
Five grandchildren. Right, right. So do you spend some time with them also when you find you are
Uh,
very busy? I understand that.
no, I'm
Do you
busy
spend
because they
some
are not
time?
with me actually. My daughter, she works for Infi and they are in Singapore. So they've been there for very many years. They have two kids. My son, we were all in the Gulf, actually. We were all in the Gulf. Once they came back, they studied and then got job immediately. So she's there in Singapore. My son used to be in Muscat, but then he went to Dubai. Now he's in the UK. So he and his wife, all of them are engineers. So his wife, and he's got a daughter. They live in the UK. And then my younger daughter, she used to be in Qatar, actually. Her husband worked for Qatar Navy. She was
Right,
there. But then she came back before Corona for a second delivery. So she's got two kids. So she's back
right.
there in the house in Kochi. But otherwise, at home, my wife, and we have sheep, dogs, chicken, duck. These are our friends.
Right. Great. Great, sir. Thank you so much, sir, once again coming to this Passion podcast. And I would like to thank you from the depth of my heart and wish you all the best
Thank
for
you.
your future endeavors. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep spreading these positive vibes that you spread all the time. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir. Bye.